In every GTA, we're getting excited about the atmosphere, content, and all the other things that the developers put into their games. However, in this case, the saying, give someone an inch and they'll take a mile, also applies. Because even if the developers in their games bombard us with a hell of a lot of great content, we're still able to find reasons to complain some and to point out Rockstar's mistakes, like, hey, and why didn't you implement that, huh? That would be simply great for this game. Take GTA Vice City for instance. This game, despite having an amazing atmosphere, one thing has to be called out. The developers unnecessarily rushed the release of this game, and hence, they simply didn't perfect it. Potential was a lot bigger. Why? Well, there are multiple reasons. In Vice City, where we play as a madman with very high criminal ambitions and strive towards becoming a drug lord, to mash up all the other thugs, take over this whole drug business and all that jazz. All that in order to make money that would allow us to indulge life to the limits. Cars, women, apartments, boat races, and local waters. Simply high life. And of course, as players, we can purchase some apartments and cribs, or to stare at the square asses of the ladies at Pole Position Club all night. But Tommy himself is a total workaholic. He's only working. Makes money just for the sake of it. And after all, Vice City is meant to be a place to have fun. And here we touched on one of the main problems of this game. It lacks that relaxation side. So, alright, first we work hard, earn money, but after that, we should be able to celebrate our success. Tommy, however, does not have neither where nor with whom to celebrate. He does not build any bonds with anybody. The two people closest to him are morons. Not cool. That aspect is simply missing. Apartments, mansions at Gator Keys itself, a place so ideal for recreation, some fast cars, or even unique ones, speedboat races, beach parties with some proper girls, and things like that in general. Additionally, more background concerning Tommy's business. Tommy is a drug baron, and we actually can only barely see that. We don't know from where Tommy obtains the merchandise, or how he distributes it, or anything at all. All we got are the mission at the boatyard, which is meant to imitate obtaining drugs. Plus, the quest in an ice cream van, which is meant to imitate the distribution. What's funny is that those property missions are completely unrequired to finish the story, so we can just simply skip that. I mean, all this is just one big misunderstanding, to be honest with you. Rockstar should have made a thread that would be directly about it, just like it was done in the Scarface game and in the extended features mod for GTA Vice City. In that mod, Tommy drives a boat to collect drugs off some Latin American smuggler. Then he escapes the cops. And then, after we got some bribing and stuff, that's exactly the way to go. We should be given some control over our gang and the whole operation, to be able to pick the means of distribution of the snow that we'd like to invest in, and of course, to choose who supplies us. Moreover, there should be other gangs in the city that will try their best to get us away from that lucrative business. Such a shame. There was so much potential, and all of that has been just simply thrown into the bin as if it was some worn out Persian carpet. Additionally, I feel like in GTA Liberty City Stories, similar mistakes have been made. What I mean is that this game is lacking a proper gang management system. Cause I get it during the Portland section, cause Tony Cipriani is simply being degraded in the organization structure by his boss, Salvatore Leone, thereby becoming an errand boy. But later, during the Staunton section, Tony is made a capo of that mafia family, and instead of giving Tony a possibility to manage some stuff, all he gets in reward is a phone call from his mom, who is so proud of him that she canceled the hit she'd ordered on him earlier. Wow, what a lovely reward. So yeah, it sucks. A capo in the mafia always has some businesses, some soldiers under him, and they have to make money for the family. Take Luigi from GTA 3 for instance. He's running a strip club. Or Ray Boccino that we hear about how good of an earner he is in GTA 4. Tony Cipriani, however, well, Tony's still Sal's errand boy in a mafia that God knows from where they're taking the money to operate. So considering that GTA Liberty City Stories was poor in innovations and mostly based on the mechanics and patterns known from the classic trilogy, the developers could have implemented some cool nuances. And the field for that, especially if we look at the fact that the game was about the life of a mafioso, was huge. By the way, in this case, Rockstar quickly learned their lesson, which they proved a year later already, when GTA Vice City Stories was released, a game that really worthily closed the 3D universe. In GTA Vice City Stories, it's hard to find things to complain about. We've got innovations in the shape of many side missions or activities. Additionally, new vehicles, the very engaging empire building system, bigger value put on the personal life of the protagonist, as well as a big change in the protagonist's character. in comparison to previous crooks. Moreover, Vice City Stories portrays Vice City from a completely different perspective compared to what it was before. In Vice City, from the year 2002, the narrative was cheery and shiny, and here we got Vice City portrayed in darker colors. If they only released this game for PCs, that would be amazing. I can't find any other complaints than this. If you disagree, please let me know in the comment. Maybe I'm just missing something. What's also missing is the logic in GTA 3. In terms of why on earth those LCPD morons completely forgot about Claude after he escaped the prison transport. See, at the very beginning, Claude and 8-Ball fortunately managed to escape a police transport, which was taking both of them to jail, and for a long time too. However, thanks to a surprisingly professional action conducted by big tough Yankee boys, 8-Ball and Claude managed to avoid Azkaban. And here's where the fun begins, cause as much as Claude moves into some hidden joint, 8-Ball literally comes back to his own yard as if nothing ever happened. Literally, bro comes back to the first place the cops will come looking for him. Despite that, 8-Ball eventually does not face any legal consequences. But okay, cool, let's assume that the mafia pulled some strings and paid off the right people. But then the question becomes, what about Claude? The most influential people in the mafia didn't even know him well. Claude initially only does some minor errands for Luigi. It would not be worth their while to waste a debt of gratitude of some corrupted politician like Donald Love. Despite that, Claude is roaming free around Liberty, kills, robs, and in general is pulling off so many stunts and making such a mess, and somehow the feds can't locate him still. Like, in my opinion, there was huge potential here for some thread that would explain how it works. We should see a personal thread for this character. What I mean is some mission in which we, for example, have to kill some detective that is close to tracking us down, or that we have to change our place of stay to escape the law. Somehow hide from the cops, or other stuff like that. There were plenty of options here. Meanwhile, a convict, a guy with a sentence that escaped prison, is not being pursued by any means, and pulls off mad stunts for the whole palette of the local gangsters. Yeah, I know that in GTA we should turn a blind eye at some inconsistencies, but like, come on. What I can't turn a blind eye at in GTA 2 though is the lack of cutscenes, and as well, where's the plot that we had every right to expect upon watching the video that plays every time we launch the game? Upon seeing that video, the expectation towards GTA 2 was for the game to be about more than just driving from one phone booth to another, going from spot A to spot B, and maybe in the meantime mashing up some random rude boys. The video shows us as if the protagonist, so Claude Speed, had some issues and an objective, to which he'll strive during the game's story. Meanwhile, in the actual game, it literally is just going back and forth from one booth to another and carrying out tasks completely unrelated to the protagonist. Those tasks are just simple dirty work to be done for some gangsters. But even in GTA 1, we had cutscenes that were introducing us to what was going on. And here, well, here we ain't got nothing. The video that we see at the launch of the game is actually an empty promise. Cutscenes, especially with the main character in them, could be really an added value and explain something. They should have connected the missions and the story of the game with what we see in the introducing video. The developers actually kind of learned from the mistake, because in that exact way, they realized such a concept in GTA San Andreas, where the introduction movie explains certain things that we then encounter while playing the actual game. What we encounter while playing GTA 1 though is the complete lack of idea for its protagonist. Yes, I'm aware that the concept for this game did not assume some advanced storyline or character psychology. But Rockstar went too far with that in this case. A protagonist is someone with whom we spend a lot of time. With their hands, we carry out a series of missions. It's very nice to know something more about a protagonist, plus to know their motives that led them to who they are now and why they do what they do. Even in GTA 3, Claude, even though he does not speak at all, we see his behavior, some story background and prologue, and as well, the story is conducted in such a way that he sometimes has to make difficult decisions, through which we can actually judge what kind of a person he is. Potential in GTA 1 was doubly wasted here, because the game started just like in Cyberpunk, so with the choice of our protagonist's gender and appearance. What I'm trying to say is that it was simply an amazing opportunity to create two short but substantial stories for each gender. You know, just a little background that would change a lot from the player's perspective. Actually, GTA 1 is the first installment of the series, so we generally should be forgiving, especially looking from GTA 2's perspective. We can see while playing GTA 2 how much the developers learned from GTA 1. What I'm saying is that considering how much GTA 2's gameplay differs from GTA 1, we can clearly see that the developers noticed how atrociously the gameplay was designed in the first installment. In GTA 1, we could not save the game. Additionally, we had a limited amount of lives, so if we died too many times, we would lose all our progress, which we'd been grinding for the last 4 hours, for example. There was no gun shop. You had to go around the map in search of weapons. A failed job could not be retried, so for a person like myself who fails pretty often, it was not hard to miss out on many things. In order to complete certain rampages, sometimes we had to first bring about 20 cars next to it so there was any chance of completing within a given time limit. And all that while watching a constantly shaking screen with a shaking car or a motorcycle. Basically, especially looking from now, it's obvious that the developers made a ton of rookie mistakes, which simply stemmed from the lack of experience. However, the lack of experience will never be able to excuse the fact that the long-lived GTA Online has never received a major new location such as Las Venturas, for instance. Why players, for so many years of playing online, while receiving gigabytes of new content, have to constantly travel through the same freaking streets over and over again? It's constantly Los Santos, Sandy Shores, Paleto Bay. And yes, the world in GTA 5 is very extensive and full of details. But enough is enough. If they could add a DLC in which we meet Tony Prince from the Ballad of Gay Tony, they might have as well added a DLC about some mafioso from GTA 4 that would have some business to do in Las Venturas. You know, a bit of a similar concept to GTA San Andreas. Salvatore Leone, whom we know from GTA 3, goes to Las Venturas to enter the casino business. And that surely would have also been great for the marketing of GTA Online. Those who stopped playing online because they simply got bored of Los Santos probably would like to come back and see what's new and how new Las Venturas looks like. And for those who haven't played it yet, it would be a great motivation to try it out and potentially stay for longer. They had so many years to make a revolutionary move and add a proper full-scale DLC like that. And instead, they were just dropping some less significant things that we had to do in the same place for 11 years. The definition of wasted potential. And imagine if they introduced it in the single-player mode. That, for instance, FIB thread would be enriched by another location. That seems like a perfect moment in the story for such things. You know, that FIB orders the boys to take care of something important because some significant target of the government is located there. And I don't mean like making a whole city, but like just a fragment, just like in St. Mark's Bistro mission. The developers would be able to see whether the players will like Las Venturas in the HD universe. If they did, then they would have perfect foundations for creating a whole city. Once it becomes clear that GTA Online is gaining popularity and generating success, and if it was in need of something fresh. I don't know about you, but for me, that's a really great missed opportunity. Similarly to the lack of ways to spend money in GTA 4. The developers created such an amazing in-game world in GTA 4. Liberty City is simply beautiful, dark, and atmospheric. Nico comes there in order to, amongst other things, get rich, and then indulge in all the great things at the Land of Opportunity. And in the end, we got a land of opportunity, but we ain't got opportunities. No cool cribs to purchase, no cars, not a lot of clothes. And after the story's complete, Nico's pockets are full to the brim. Bro's definitely not poor. What was needed here was a possibility to buy, especially after the bank heist, some proper ass penthouse. New York is famous for its mad expensive properties that cost a fortune. Additionally, we got many beautiful houses in Alderney. Why can't we buy a cool yard with 2 big garages to store some unique cars in them? Cause look at this baby right here, for example. Looks really good, don't it? And as it is, we're just doing mission after mission, and all we can do in the meantime is maybe go bowling with our crazy cousin Roman. That's also a problem in the DLCs. In none of them we got a from zero to hero narrative. Both protagonists are always deep in mud. It's lacking a moment in which at least one of the protagonists, Luis for instance, starts to actually get his things together and earn good paper. Actually, in the moment in which Luis could finally start achieving success, they ended the story. And here's another major problem with the DLCs. They're just simply way too short. Yeah, I know that they were only meant to explain a couple of threads from the base episode, but the developers approached this subject way too sketchily. Neither The Lost and Damned nor The Ballad of Gay Tony go above 30 missions. The sole Los Santos section in GTA SA got more than they got. Yet again, the potential was big and the developers gone the easy way here. Take GTA LCS and VCS. These games also were meant to be just fillers, but even despite that, both of them have got around 60 missions. Moreover, in each episode, the developers were limiting themselves by the fact that a protagonist either was mad depressed, or their life was falling apart, or that they were indebted from head to toe. What was missing in all this was the development of aspects such as some safe houses, businesses, or cars, and in general, ways of earning our hard-earned money. And the feel for it was there, because Liberty City in GTA 4 is enormous and full of action. And finally, we'll talk about something that would be incredible if the developers managed to implement it in GTA San Andreas. The plans were there, but they ain't been carried out in the end. See, it's something that apparently the developers indeed planned on, but the concept was abandoned early due to hardware limitations. I'm talking about 3 playable characters, a feature that we had a glimpse of in GTA 4 and that we experienced completely in GTA 5. In my opinion, had it been implemented in San Andreas, it would have been a genius move. I think so because GTA San Andreas has got 3 major cities, Los Santos, San Fierro, and Las Venturas. And the way I'd see it, from the very beginning, we would get access to 3 different characters, and each would handle their business in a different town. Obviously, the story would mainly revolve around CJ, but the other 2 protagonists would be some sort of fillers that would allow us to see the GTA San Andreas story from multiple perspectives, and also to clear some things up. You know, mainly we play as CJ, but at times the game sends us to San Fierro, where we would play, for example, as a soldier of some other gang like San Fierro Rifa or the Triads. And in Las Venturas, let's say we'd play as some mafioso. It would be great to be able to follow the events from different perspectives, or even if the protagonists sometimes stood against each other. It would be similar to what it was like in GTA episodes from Liberty City, where the main protagonist is Nico. Here, it would be CJ. And we also got Johnny, who's a guy from the Losts, and Luis, who works for the Ancelottis. Sometimes the protagonists work as a team and sometimes fight against each other. It makes the story more complete and could work similarly in San Andreas. But maybe this was a bit too ambitious as for those times. It's a shame, but the story of San Andreas is a masterpiece anyway, so we can't really complain too much. I also don't have to complain when it comes to my lovely viewers, who will now surely like this video and will go watch some other videos that are now displayed on the screen. Meanwhile, I'm saying goodbye, take care, and see you soon.